Introduction, Shayesta Mohammed, an amazing independent political activist I've known for like 20 years, going back to Toronto. So I'm really excited about your talk today here, Shayesta. Do you want to introduce yourself briefly, your territory?
Okay, now you hear me, right? Okay.
Yes,
sorry.
Here is a bell.
Yeah, thank you so much, PJ. Hello to everyone. Actually, I can only say that I'm an independent political and community activist. I do my activities through art and different arts from play and also painting. And even I had poems, write poems just to convey my message to the society and to convey the voice of people who are voiceless in this class struggle, during the class struggle. Back from Iran to here. I had a long journey, actually, since I was 16. I'm professionally involved in politics and activities. So it won't fit in 15 minutes if I touch even, the list. But I try to get some views and concept, actually. I can say central of the gravity of my concept. I will just touch that area, and for now it would be it. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you so much. That's amazing. I'm looking forward to this. And
so I just only focused on one thing, communal system. The reason, maybe I have to take you back to my background, where I came from, and how come I'm so passionate about this system as an alternative to abolish whatsoever the causes of the capitalist system, and at the end, maybe if we could, demolish capitalist system totally, the real structure of this system. Take you back to the revolution, which in Iran happened. I can't even say revolution because it was suppressed, and it's been hijacked by Islamic movement, which it was reactionary inside the actual movement for the revolution. By them, it was hijacked. And that was one of the tricks that imperialist government, they have done to us to extinguish the fire of the revolution. So in 1979, I was 11 years old, and in duration of the uprising, which it was like, I remember it was 11 months of general strikes of all the major factories and oil companies, workers of oil companies, and they were vanguards actually in this movement. And their demands mainly was social welfare for all and equality and freedom. So what happened right at turning point, the imperialist countries such as USA and England and also France, they thought that, okay, this demands actually, if fulfilled, it would cause a great harm to their profit and interest in the region. So they came up with introducing, because they were trying to control this movement and suppress. So they introduced a reformist model, which it was Bakhtiar at that time, which this model was rejected by the people, actually, workers of Iran. They were demanding to demolish the whole system and taking power as working class. That was the whole aim of the movement. And it was very, new in Iran, such a movement, such a progressive and strong. And because it was young and new, it was easily could be defeated by manipulation through religion, or any reactionary movement inside, within the major movement, revolutionary movement. There were different tendencies, of course, left-wing, right-wing, center, but the major up to then was the left-wing. So they tried to make the reactionary tendency, which was based on religion, religious movement, to overshadow the whole movement by focusing on one of the clerks at that time, which was leaving, a reactionary clerk, which was living in France, and bring it to the media at that point. At that point, unfortunately, we didn't have Facebook. We didn't have internet to connect with the whole world and, exchange the real shots of what is going on. So they abused the system of media, and they introduced to all the people around the world that this is it. The religion is their demand. The aim of this revolutionary movement is just to change the system to be Islamic capitalist, misogynist system, which it was totally opposite of what the purpose of the movement was. However, they succeeded because this movement was young and the workers they were not ready, actually. They were not mobilized properly to take power right away. They left it for 1 whole year after the Shah went to exile. For 1 year, very loose, and slowly this reactionary that they were led, and they mainly the forces of the regime, Islamic regime, was consisted from peasants, and illiterate people, actually. So they came, they got the power, they took all of the military sources and power, and to harshly actually started to do the massacre and arresting all of the young people, many of the workers, vanguard workers, and pushing everyone, back to their home, sending everyone. And that's how they took power. This Islamic regime of Iran took power, and they were actually linked. And under the table, up to now, they've been supported by the USA and other imperialist governments, because that was only choice at that time up to now they had. In the duration of that time, there was a resistance movement from Tehran and other cities, major cities, was going on against this regime. Thousands of women poured the street because religion governments changed the whole rule to Sharia law, which was actually left women not only had to fight against the patriarchic system they used to fight. Now their existence was under the question in whole. They had to even, the compulsory hijab purposely became a law. I mean, punishable law. So if somebody wouldn't do that, they pour even acid, from the government force to their faces. So I come from that part of the Iran, which it was Kurdistan, provincial of Iran. Two of other cities, our city that I was living was Sanandaj, and the other one was Marivan. After 1979, up to 1981, actually, we had not only resistance movement, like other cities, but upper level, there were communal system established in Sanandaj and Marivan. Every corner there were a committee, people. They established a committee and they opened the libraries, free taking books, and everywhere there were meetings, free meetings and workshop around educate people, especially women, and lots of educational sources that was provided by the left-wing groups that they came from all over the country to Kurdistan, because that was only barricade that they could survive at that point, after this government totally took power and suppressed the movement in other cities. They came to Kurdistan and they helped every other people, The interesting thing is many people ask me, okay, why you are so passionate about the communal system? Why you try to express, and tell the story through your art instead of, focusing on other stuff and selling it and, make money and stuff like that? Why you are, just devote to convey this message to people around the world, And I just simply say that because I lived under such a system, and not only me, all the people who live, they never forget, It was 2 years of this experience. It was the most beautiful experience I can recall in my life, And many people, the most important things, and I want to highlight in this movement, was the contribution of all women from all kind of life in front line, of this progress, I should say, progress movement, because it was moving from resistance to another level. And the communities and committees in the street was running by the help of the women. That was very highlighted. And because the religion was pushed back in that city, that was main core, I think, factor of letting women, to just take power, to empower people, I think, everywhere. Because why the religion was created at the right, if you go back, as I'm glad PJ mentioned, I listened to her story. It was amazing and totally true. The harshest hierarchy system is religion. Mm-hmm. And if you talk about, if you want to talk about feminism and women's rights, you cannot guarantee that right for equality without demolishing the system of the religion. That is one of the huge abstract that it's, and the main tool and main system, actually it's the main and the most important tool in the hands of the capitalist system to oppress and to divide working class, because half of the working class are women. And if they could push women back and try to let them that you are nobody, you shouldn't exist right at the beginning from Adam and Eve, so it would be easier for capitalists to exploit twice, 3 times, the workers who are female in the society by any chance that they get. So that was one of the things that I want to show people through painting. And, sometimes the painting for a person who doesn't have enough knowledge and didn't came from the background that they came, it would shock them. Look at it and, okay, women are chained by the, the books, the good books of the religion. Little bit, they ask, what is it? What is the story? Why you are so much against the religion? Religion is nice. They talk about people to be nice. Of course, that's how they attract people. But then they chain you. And I had to tell the story about that. That is one of the factors that my activities since then, political and community activities since then, was evolved around that, and communal system. Why? Because I found it based on non-hierarchy system and letting people to decide directly, all equally, directly in every community and all, that it gives us like a extraordinary leap, actually, to demolish the capitalist system, I believe. So I just, if you look, this one actually, thank you, Sarah, you just show one thing. I touched alongside, I contribute in many movements, and I always inspired by women contribution, especially Idle No More. When it happened in Toronto, I was very active around that, and I was attending even to the circle, the circle Wednesday circles, which it was working. Their job was teaching and running workshop for class consciousness, and who were the main people who were in charge of running that. They were women, from indigenous women, and that was very respectful to me. That's why, Sarah, if you go, please click one that I told you. It's about Idle. It's 2 women. I paint that one at that time, Idle, in duration of Idle No More, to just highlight the role of the woman, indigenous woman. In here, actually, my main purpose of drawing this one was, if you look, there is a woman who turns the light while she's not living in the light, but passes to another generation, and the light itself was about that circle. It was about the running that workshop. It was so inspiring, and I felt this is it. I think when we are talking about communal system, it's more understanding. I found that it's more understanding for women than men, because because women, they feel related, you know, they feel, okay, there is no level, there is no hierarchy system, there is no patriarchic, system can jump and hijack, because it's closed, you know, the circle is closed and no level, so everybody's equal. It's much easier for women to fight for equality through such a communal system. Those are two centers of gravity of my activities. And I like to work more toward council communal system. I don't want to talk more because I know probably I exceed even more than my time, right, Sarah?
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we are over the time, but we got started late, so I appreciate the time. Thank you so much. If that's all yeah, that's great. I don't want to cut you off, but
thank you.
So great. Making space, holding space, keeping space going, that's where we got to go. Thank you very much. Is there last thoughts, or people want to have questions or reflections amongst one another?